We see a girl telling the MC that since he wouldn't quit, no matter how much she bugged him, it's time for the coup de grace. Now we see her sitting half naked on the table as she says that if she shouted something like help, it's a griffist, a super duper, cutie, high school model versus an unremarkable teacher. Who do you think society will believe? We see the MC with a blank face as he thinks that someone said that class A1 was hell itself, and the homeroom teacher of this class always, without a fail, quit their jobs. We see someone say that a girl's high school is a garden, as graceful the flowers growing here may be. For a male teacher, it's nothing but a bed of thorns nonetheless. Having high expectations will only get him burnt. We see a teacher asking the MC if he's prepared to face what's behind these doors. The MC replies and says, of course, I'm a teacher. In the faculty room, we see a female teacher getting surprised as she says, what? Another one's coming? A new teacher? A male teacher asks her if she hasn't heard, and that lately teachers have been quitting one after another. Another teacher replies and says that it's because of Class 1A. The black-haired teacher says that she wonders what kind of crazy guy was willing to taking over that class of monsters. Another male teacher speaks and says that he hoped that this new teacher lasts at least a week. The black-haired teacher screams and says, no way, zero chance. Those kids are so rotten to the core that I wouldn't take them over even if they doubled my pay. The teacher in tracksuit asks them if they want to bet lunch on it, that the new guy won't even last less than a week. Everyone bets on the same thing, making the bet useless, but Tenjika seems like she doesn't like what they are talking about. We see the MC standing behind them and suddenly say, hello? He asks them, how do you do, and that he will be teacher here with them from today, and that his name is Jimmy Taro. Seeing the new teacher scares and shocks the other teachers who were talking about him. The tracksuit guy asks the MC for how long has he been there, to which he replies with, for a while. The tracksuit says, Jimmy plain what now? Trying to say his name, but the MC tells him that it's Jimmy. The teachers pat the MC's back as they say with pity, on top of it, it's a guy who's recently graduated, my condolences. The black-haired one says that it looks like they didn't even need to make bets, implying that the MC will definitely quit. The other male teacher tries to be supportive, and tells the MC that it'll be tough, but he should give it his best. Seeing everyone talk like this to the MC makes Tenjika feel bad. She gets concerned for the MC and tells him to not mind them, and that they're all just a bit on the edge because of the frequent changes in staff lately. Suddenly she gets surprised when she sees that the MC is not there anymore. The black-haired teacher says that the MC already headed over to his homeroom. Tenjika gets surprised as she says, isn't he eager? There's still over 10 minutes until homeroom. The female teacher replies and says, silly indeed. Way too eager too, who's just here to fill in. I suppose he doesn't know what he's in for. As we see the MC making his way to the classroom, she continues and says that he's up against 1A, the class of hell. She hopes that he won't start his new job by falling victim to them. She says that despite the graceful and delicate flowers lining up here, this garden is a bed of thorns. We see the MC standing in front of his classroom. He looks at his watch. He is waiting for the exact minute for the homeroom to start. While he waits, we can hear the students in the class say, didn't you hear? We're getting a new homeroom teacher today. Another replies and says again, how many does that make now? Another one asks her if she really cares about it though, and that he's going to quit anyway soon. Now we see the MC writing his name on the board and suddenly introduce himself to everyone and say that he'll be their homeroom teacher. All the girls get surprised and scream, when did he come inside? He's so unremarkable, I didn't even notice him. The MC says that he specializes in subjects related to mathematics, and that it's nice to meet them all. A girl says the MC's name wrong, which the MC corrects her. Everyone says, you're kidding? That's the new homeroom teacher? He's the most boring out of them all so far. Doesn't he look a bit edgy? The MC tells them to please settle down, but he gets ignored. Suddenly someone screams and tells everyone to settle down. The class goes silent as we see a girl stand up and say that she knows that everyone is excited because they have a new teacher, but if they have something to say, they should raise their hand and tell it to the teacher himself. She smiles at the MC and asks, right, Mr. Boring? The MC stays calm and tells her that it was a commendable attitude and tells her that his name is Jimmy. The girl laughs and apologizes to him and raises her hand as she says that she has a question for him. She suddenly gets a villainous smile on her face as she asks the MC if he's a virgin. The entire class goes silent. The girls look at each other and suddenly start to laugh. Everyone starts speaking again as they say things like, "Come on, don't be like that." It's so obvious at first glance. Do you think anyone would give this uber lame-o any attention, and that he's totally a virgin? The MC confidently tells them, "Yes, I am. I'm a virgin for life and a teacher for life." Hearing him say this without getting flustered surprises the girl. The girls repeat what he said and wonder if he meant that his job is his lover. They think that it's very sad and that there's just no one who'd take him. The MC asks the girl if she has any more questions as he tells her name and attendance number. Hearing him say her name surprises her. She comes near him, acting all cute, and says, "Wowzers, you already remember Momo's name. Good boy. Just what I'd expect from someone who gave up his private life to be a teacher." She laughs and says that she was just kidding and that it isn't actually strange that he knows her as Momo is a famous super-duper cutie after all. She continues and says all her details and that she is a famous high school model working for the trendiest magazine called Heaven Teen. Suddenly she looks disgusted at the MC and tells him that she can't stomach a creepy teacher like him. She smiles and picks up the attendance book and says, "If you got that, why don't you just quit?" and throws it into the trash and calls him Mr. Boring again. Now we see Tenjika look at something. She looks at the MC with a duster on his head covered with chalk dust. She gets surprised and asks him what happened. The MC calmly tells her that nothing special and that after homeroom, their first class was math, so he held both together. She tells him that normally they wouldn't look like that after holding classes. She gets concerned for the MC and says ganging up on the weak to bully them like this is despicable. She says that Hanako was definitely behind this. Suddenly she realizes that she called the MC weak to his face and apologizes to him. Tenjika looks tired as she says that the truth is that a lot of people burnt their hands thanks to Hanako's whims. As Tenjiku and the MC look at a poster of her, she says that Momo was a child actor and she's been in show business, and maybe because everyone was always so head over heels for her, she does whatever she wants if something upsets her even a little, and that she's really a handful. She continues and says that some teacher tried to be tough with her, as we see a flashback of a teacher standing there as Momo screams that he pushed her onto the ground, and that's corporal punishment. We see her saying that her body is a tool for work, and what if she got a serious injury? She uses this against the previous teacher and threatens to press charges against him if he doesn't quit. In the present, we see Tenjika say that because of that the school had no choice but to fire him, and that she's a celebrity too, and as a private school trouble like that wouldn't sit well. After that, it's been one teacher after another quitting because of harassment. She suddenly gets awkward and tells him that she's sorry and that she shouldn't be talking like this on his first day. To cheer him up, she asks if he wants to go out for drinks, and that they can have his welcome party that way too. Suddenly the MC tells her that he's not going. Hearing this surprises her. He tells her that the responsibility of a teacher don't include that, as he recalls. He tells her that a teacher is someone who educates and guides students at school. His contract doesn't include anything outside of the responsibilities of a teacher. She looks sad as she thinks that this almost sounds like she's getting dumped. As he's going, he tells her that he has to prepare for his next class, so he'll see her later, and thanks her for the handkerchief. Hearing him say her name makes Tenjika wonder if she ever introduced herself to the MC. Now in the class we see Momo seeing the MC and looking all confused. She points at him and asks him why the hell is he here, and that their next class is physics, but he's a math teacher. The MC replies and tells her that he did say subject relating to mathematics. He has a teacher's license in multiple subjects. From today this class will be special as he will be taking over and teaching multiple subjects here. Hearing this makes all the girls surprised, while Momo says that their grades will mostly depend on his evaluations now. People start saying that it's unfair. The MC tells them that he will only be fulfilling his responsibilities as a teacher and nothing else. However, if their grades are unsatisfactory, they might have to repeat a year. Hearing him say this makes the girls worried. He turns around and starts the class and telling everyone to open their books to page 34. Suddenly, something splashes on him. We see that it's Momo with a box of juice in her hand and smiling. She apologizes to the MC with no sincerity and tells him that her hand slipped. The MC calls her name, but before he can say anything, she tells him if that made him angry and if he wants to hit her. She smiles and tells him to go ahead and try it, but if he does that, he'll be fired in an instant. The MC calmly takes the juice from her hand and tells her that if her hand slipped, that's unfortunate. However, eating and drinking during class is against school rules. So he asks her to come see him at the counseling room after school. Hearing him say this shocks her. The entire class starts talking and saying things like, "Damn, did you hear that? Getting detention in high school. Maybe Momo will have to repeat a year." Someone says that's so lame. Hearing this makes her turn around. She sees that nobody is talking. Momo gets angry and grinds her teeth. After the class, we see Momo screaming and says, "What's his deal?" Not only does he ignore her provocations, he doesn't even flinch or anything and wonders if the MC is used to being abused by girls. Suddenly, Momo gets a call from her manager. She cheerfully picks up the call and asks the manager, "How's it going? The variety show I was supposed to appear on? What about it?" Suddenly, she hears that it's canceled. She tells the manager that it's no big deal and that Momo is super duper cute, so there'll be another chance. She cuts the call and immediately throws the phone on the ground. She says that at least here at school, she wants to feel like she's having a good time. Now we see the MC looking at his watch as he stands in front of the counseling room. The second he opens the door, we hear Momo say, "Aren't you late, Mr. Boring?" Inviting a girl and then making her wait is such a virgin thing to do. As we see that she's sitting on the table fully exposed and smiling. The MC tells her that he came right on time and asks her why did she remove her clothes. She smiles and says that she decided to throw a bone and take his V card, but immediately says that she's kidding. She tells him that since he wouldn't quit no matter how much she bugged him, it's time for the coup de grace. She asks him what would happen if she shouted something like, "Help, it's a grapist." She continues and asks him, who would the society believe? A super-duper high school model versus an unremarkable teacher as she smugly smiles. The MC understands what she's trying to do and tells her that she wishes to fake an attack to get him to resign. Seeing that he got her plan, she says bingo. He removes his tie as he says, to be honest, only a third-rate teacher would answer a student's provocations, but this is something I can't overlook. He rips his shirt as he calls her attendance number and name. He tells her that it's time to educate her. She sees the MC's elephant and starts sweating as she screams, "What the fuck? Are you actually going to attack me?" She covers herself and asks him, what about the virgin for life thing, and that he was just making an excuse. As she's screaming about this, the MC turns around and slides the door open and starts screaming for help and that there's a gayist. Seeing him do this scares Momo. As the MC is still screaming, Momo grabs his shirt and tells him who in their right mind would want to attack him, and that something's wrong with his brain. The MC replies and says, "I wonder about that." Now we see the other teachers running towards them as they ask the MC if something happened. After they see Momo and the MC in their weird situation, they get confused. Momo starts acting and tells them to not listen to the MC as she cries. She tells them that Momo was so cute that the MC decided to attack her and that she tried to resist as hard as she could. Tenjika says, "But wasn't it Jimmy Sensei who shouted for help?" The tracksuit replies and says, "Come on, would a high school girl really attack a teacher?" The black-haired woman joins in by saying, "Especially that guy." As the MC is wearing his pants, they tell him that this is going to be a big problem, and it's not something a resignation would solve either. The MC calmly replies, "Yes, that's true." He continues and tells them that if he really did attack her, he believes that they're dealing with harassment, a criminal case. So he will deny everything. Then, after fingerprints are taken, they will leisurely wait for the results. Hearing this worries Momo a little. He continues and says that since their school's uniforms have zippers, his fingerprints should be on hers. The tracksuit agrees with him. The MC says that it's impossible to collect fingerprints from clothes as well, and asks Momo if she's willing to undergo that. He says that either way, he hasn't touched her at all, so they wouldn't even find any fibers belonging to him, let alone fingerprints. He points towards his collar and tells her that they would find fingerprints on his collar though, and he thought that something like this might happen. So he wore a shirt that makes finding fingerprints easier. Hearing this shocks Momo. We see Momo realizing that she's majorly screwed, and starts tearing up as the teachers wonder if Momo was really the one who tried to attack the MC. Another one says that a popular model attacking a plain-looking teacher would be a great scandal. Momo starts crying as she can't think of anything. Suddenly, she kicks the MC as the others tell her to stop. The female teachers grab Momo as Momo screams at the MC, saying, "You smug little, what makes you think you can talk like that? Do you think I'm stupid?" The MC suddenly tells her that the teachers who had to resign because of her were probably feeling the same way as you do now. As he gets up, Tenjika sees blood and tells the MC that he's bleeding. He tells her that this is nothing and it's part of the job. Tenjika screams at Momo and tells her that she went too far and she'll be lucky if she can get away with the suspension. The tracksuit says, even worse than that, hearing this completely scares Momo and reality hits her. She can't believe that she will get a criminal record. She starts asking the teachers what should she do now. Momo calls the MC and gets on her knees as she begs him for forgiveness and tells him that she'll do anything and that she'll be a good girl from now on. She continues and says, I'm sure the school wouldn't want to get the police involved, right? The MC says, seeing the MC react like this shocks the other teachers. They freeze as they say, that's it? Momo also gets surprised as she asks him why. Even after all the things she did to him, he could get back at her if he wanted to. He replies and tells her that he doesn't want anything like that. He tells her that she understood that she's done bad things. He managed to guide her on to the right way, and that's all this needs to be. He smiles at her and tells her that it's part of the job. Seeing the MC say this makes Momo's heart go kyun. She thinks, for a plain guy, he seems to be shining. As she's on the floor, she starts crying and telling the MC that being in the show business has been so tough and that she wanted to quit for so long as she thinks that this kindness makes her want to spill everything out. She cries harder and tells him that she might say that she's a popular model, but she's actually not a big deal. She can't make it on TV either, each and every day. It made her frustrated, so she tells him that she's sorry for raking it out on him. Tenjika tells her that it's fine, and as long as she understands. But suddenly someone says, we see that it's the MC looking at his watch and telling everyone that it's time, so he'll be taking a leave. Hearing this leaves everyone dumbfounded. The tracksuit tells the MC to hold up a bit, and that they're dealing with his student. Tenjiku agrees with the tracksuit and tells the MC that he just spoke like a perfect teacher. So shouldn't he at least listen to Momo until the end? Hearing this makes the MC say, whether she quits show business or not, those have nothing to do with school life, do they? Hearing him change up so fast shocks everyone. He continues and tells them that it's fine to pursue activities that the school allows, but he'd rather not get involved in any troubles or responsibilities that go over the bounds of his job description, and that it's not in his contract. He tells Momo that he can't be her father nor her manager. Hearing this absolutely shocks Momo. The MC tells them that he's a virgin for life, teacher for life. He tells everyone goodbye and walks away like nothing happened. The teachers are still in shock and disbelief that he's actually going home, no blood, no tears. Momo wipes her tears and smiles as she calls the MC's name and says that he really sucks and he's a total virgin. The teachers discuss how the MC knows everyone's name without them introducing themselves, while Momo stands there being angry. A teacher says that the MC has teacher's licenses for multiple subjects, and as far as they've heard, he has 3 or 4 maybe. Hearing this shocks the others as they ask how old is he now and didn't he just graduate. We see a girl standing behind a wall and seeing everything which went down. Now we see some other girls talking about Momo as they write something on the board. One girl mocks Momo for saying that being in showbiz is tough, as another says that she exploded like that and then did a 180, good for her. Another one says that they can't rely on some idiot who's only good for her looks after all. While the last one says that if Momo sees something like this tomorrow, she might stop coming to school. One of them says, that's fine, isn't it? Both the virgin teacher and her. Let's make them completely disappear from our sights. We see that these 4 girls have written horrible things about Momo and the MC on the board. They see their drawing as one of them says, welcome, Mr. Boring, to Class 1 freaking A. Chapter 2, we see the teachers in the staff room talking. One of them asks the others if they heard about what happened yesterday. A female teacher replies and says about how that Momo pounded Jimmy Sensei. You gotta be kidding me. That plain teacher couldn't have. Before they can finish, suddenly someone slams the door open. We see that it's Tenjika panicking and tells the MC that something's happened and tells him to please come to Class 1A immediately. We see Tenjiku explain that there are 5 boss monster in Class 1A. As the MC is going up the stairs to his class, Tenjika calls him and asks him if he knows why those problem children have never been dealt with. She says things like donations and connections. In other words, adult problems. They aren't just problem children. These girls, amidst them, some of them, are the chosen ones. Now we see some girls look at someone in admiration. We see that these are the boss monsters of the class. First is Yabu Tsubaki. She was the top of the freshman class, the daughter of the politician Yabu Shuzu, and she's a beauty from whichever angle you look. Second is Tsutsuji Erika, the daughter of the Tsutsuji Zaibatsu, an industrial and financial conglomerate. Her results are top class, even comparable with Yabu. Third is Okuna no Zeisa, a cool beauty who helped the volleyball team reach the nationals this year and called as the queen of Kusono Girls' School. Fourth is Odamaki. She is a brilliant artist with a cute Instagram account, and many publishers have reached out to her even though she's in high school. The girl says that all of them are wonderful, and 1A certainly has all the cool kids. More girls look at them in admiration as they blush and say they're in a whole other world, but the best of them all has to be Hananaka Momo. Now we see Momo standing in shock as she sees something. She sees the drawings of her and the MC on the board and gets shocked. She screams and says, "What the hell is this, and who would do such a thing to the super cutesy Momo?" She keeps asking who did this. A girl next to her gets scared and tells Momo that the drawing has been there since this morning. Momo goes close to the board, and as she touches it, she thinks she knows who the person is. Suddenly someone bumps into her. Momo turns around and sees that it's the other 4 girls. Tsubaki tells Momo to move it, and that she's in her way. The girls start talking about what period is next as they completely ignore Momo. Momo tells them to wait. She screams at them and asks Tsubaki if she's the one who drew that on the board. Tsubaki calmly says, "So what if I did?" Momo asks her, what is she trying to do? She calls all their names and says, "You guys are Momo's friends, right?" As she cries. Tsubaki calls Momo and laughs at her face as she says, as if anyone here thinks they're her friend, and calls her stupid. We see Erika tell Tsubaki to not put it that way, but Tsubaki screams and tells everyone that Momo is a traitor who is sucking up to the MC. Oda joins in and says that she saw it with her very own eyes, and that Momo was bawling onto the MC while in her underwear. Hearing this shocks the other girls. They start saying stuff like, "For real? How slutty. So that wasn't for the cameras. Of all people, she did it with that virgin." They call her gross and to get some better taste. Tsubaki walks past Momo as she tells her to never talk to her again, and that she doesn't want to see her face either. Suddenly the MC and Tenjiku enter. Tenjiku screams at them. She starts cleaning the board as she asks who wrote such terrible things on the board, and asks them to raise their hands if they know. Tenjiku continues and tells the girls that they keep subjecting others to such mistreatment as they all stay silent. The MC looks at Momo and sees her in shock. Tenjiku aggressively cleans the board as she says that she cannot allow this to happen and asks the MC to say something. The MC looks at his watch and tells Tenjiku that first period is about to start and asks her to leave. Tenjiku goes out the class and suddenly wonders if what happened now is her fault. In class, we see Momo reach in her desk and notice something. She pulls out her book and sees bad things written about her. She wonders why is this happening to the super-dupe cutie Momo as she bites her lip in frustration and anger. She thinks that this is all the MC's fault. After class, we see Momo throw the book at the MC's back. We see her panting heavily as the MC looks at her and calls her name. He looks at what's written on the book and asks her what it is. She screams at him and tells him that her life is a mess thanks to him. She looks scared as she shows him a phone and tells him that someone uploaded this, and it says that Momo is the sicko who attacked him, and it even made news on the internet. She looks worried and says that her manager will definitely blow up when he sees this and she'll lose her job. She looks sad as she says that this can't get any worse and that she wants to quit this school already. The MC calls her name and asks her if she's okay. Hearing him ask this suddenly makes her heart skip a beat and blush. She asks him what. As she blushes, he tells her that he's a teacher after all. It's natural for him to be concerned for students who are having trouble with school life. He tells her that he'll place an order for a new textbook for her right away and starts writing it. Momo blushes as she thinks that it grinds her gears, but as a teacher, the MC really does have a kind side. Suddenly, the MC tells her that he'll be off now, but Momo holds him and tells him to wait a second. She grabs his shirt and asks him what's going to happen to her modeling career and tells him to take responsibility. The MC looks confused and asks her if that's a teacher's job with a straight face. He tells her that he's not concerned with whatever she does for her job. He tells her that he mentioned it yesterday, and he told her not to bring in affairs which don't fall within the scope of a teacher's job. He'll do what he can to let her live a comfortable school life, and that's all he can do for her. He walks away as he tells her that she has physics next, and if she's going late, it'll go on her record. Hearing all this leaves her shocked and speechless. Momo screams at him and tells him that he sucks and he's a stupid virgin teacher. She follows him around as she tells him that if she's losing her job, she'll make sure he loses his too, and she won't stop for anything. To this he replies and says, "That's great." We see some girls looking at Momo and asking, "What the hell is she doing?" A girl says that Momo ain't half bad, while the other says that it's kind of sad though, and that she's a model after all. The girl says that Momo could have had any guy she'd ever wanted in the entertainment world, and she chose that virgin above everyone else. The other one adds in and says that if it was at least Sakid from the social studies department, he'd have cut her some slack. They continue and say, "There's nothing more you can ask for once you've isolated yourself from the class, is there? But then you've really dropped down to a new low Hananaka Momo." As we see Tsubaki standing and watching her, Tsubaki walks away. They continue talking as one says, "Oh yeah, didn't this happen before? Remember the one that caused that incident with the previous teacher of 1A? The other one tries to recall who it is. Now we see at the infirmary someone seeing the news about Momo on their phone. We see Tsubaki asking this person if they got a minute. Now we see a girl on the infirmary's bed with bandages covered in blood all around her as Tsubaki tells her that she's got something to tell her. Chapter 3 we see the 4 girls walking as one of them asks Tsubaki why did she go to the infirmary? Oda replies and says that's where the hooky girl who dropped out from school is. Nozasa recalls that there was a girl like that and tries to recall her name. Erika tells them that it's kind of mean to call her names like that. Tsubaki smiles and tells them that she'll tell them a story. One day there was a new teacher at this school. He was a determined person who was overflowing with passion. But before long, 2 problem childs appeared before him. One of them was a really cute disobedient girl. The other was an introvert and is a hooky girl who always reported sick at the infirmary. The disobedient girl continuously teased and bullied the teacher. On the other hand, the hooky girl kept encouraging the teacher. We see the hooky girl telling the teacher that she hates this school and that she wants to be with him. Soon after, she became very close to the teacher. However, that's when it happened. The teacher was forced to quit due to the schemes of the disobedient girl. Till this day, the hooky girl still deeply hates the disobedient girl for doing that. It wasn't the teacher that had to go. It should have been that disobedient girl. Now we see a pair of shoes all messed up. We see that they belong to Momo as she looks at them and gets annoyed while saying that this sucks. We see Momo walking with only her socks as she says day in day out at this rate Momo will lose all her stuff. She continues and says that they keep calling her an ugly bitch, but Momo is super cute and she's no ugly bitch. She suddenly sees the MC and Tenjiku together. He looks at her and asks if she came to school just now and that homeroom is already starting. Momo gets angry at him and tells him that now's not the time for this. She tells him that it's not just her textbooks, and this time her indoor shoes also got messed with. As she's saying this, they suddenly hear a loud sound. They turn towards the sound and see that a girl has fallen down the stairs. Tenjiku sees this and gets scared. She starts panicking and asks what should they do. The MC calmly tells her that she's making a racket. The girl tells them that she's sorry and that she slipped while coming down the stairs. The MC sees that she's still conscious. He says that he doesn't see any major injuries, but they should call the ambulance to be safe. Meanwhile, Tenjiku in the back wonders if the MC is a doctor. The MC says the girl's index number and name as he asks her if she belongs to class 1A. Now we see the ambulance taking the girl. The MC tells Tenjiku that he'll tag along with Mari and he'll leave the rest to her. Tenjiku looks concerned and calls the MC. She asks him if he's known about Mari since before, to which he replies, "What about it?" She continues and says that Mari is nicknamed the hooky girl. Even since she enrolled into high school, she's been missing her lessons and spending days in the infirmary. Let alone knowing how she looks like. Her classmates barely remember her name, and for the MC to remember her name despite having only come here recently, she's surprised. The MC replies and says, "That's for sure, I am a teacher after all." He gets in the ambulance and goes off. We see Momo hearing everything as she realizes that Mari is in their class. Suddenly, she remembers that she forgot to mention about her indoor shoes and wonders what to do now. She sighs and says that she should go borrow some slipper. In the hospital, we see the MC asking Mari if she's feeling better. He tells her that thankfully, aside from a sprained left ankle, there's nothing else wrong with her. Suddenly, Mari calls the MC and suddenly hugs him as she thanks him. She tells him that she has a frail body and she couldn't get to know her class. Nobody knows about her and all they address her by is hey, if not you. She continues and says that it's been a long time since someone called her by name and she's really glad. As we see bandages on her hand, she asks the MC, "You won't just quit like that, right, Sensei? You won't leave me alone, right?" She smiles at him and asks him if she can believe in him. She continues and tells him to not abandon her. Now back at the school, we see Momo scream as she sees her table is scribbled with horrible stuff and ask what happened to her table. Momo tries to scrub the writing, but it won't come off. The four girls smile at her pain as they look at her struggle. We see Momo's lunch also get thrown in the trash and more of her books ruined. We see the black-haired teacher asking Momo if she forgot to bring all her English materials. As she looks at the other girls giggle, Momo tells the teacher that it's not her fault, but the teacher tells her no excuses from her and that she can't get by in this world just by being cute. Momo starts to cry and screams at the teacher telling her that it's not her fault and calls her a noisy hag. Hearing Momo call her a hag shocks the teacher. Now we see Momo going to her locker as she looks pissed and thinks that no matter who it is, they all don't listen to what Momo has to say. As she's thinking that she's hungry now and this all sucks, she opens her locker. She sees that her gym clothes are torn and messed with and gets shocked. She turns around and screams, "Who's responsible for this? Give me a break already. If you thought that the ultra-cute Momo would let you get away with this." As she's saying this, Oda splashes a drink on her as she smiles. Seeing this shocks Momo. We see Oda and Nizasa look at her and giggle as Oda sarcastically say that she's sorry and that she lost her grip. Momo stands there drenched in the juice as the girls make fun of her and how she doesn't have any more clothes now. Tsubaki says that maybe if she cries for help, the virgin sensei will come running to save her. Oda tells her that he's not Doraemon anyway as she laughs. Momo stands there and questions if they really had to take it this far. Suddenly she remembers that she did the same thing to the MC. She says that she's getting the same treatment as the teachers now and it's pretty harsh to taste one's own medicine. As she's changing her clothes, she sees "ugly bitch" written in her locker. The MC sees the girls walk out of the locker room as they laugh about Momo. Suddenly Momo walks out screaming that she is not an ugly bitch and that she's super cute, but she runs into the MC and slips and falls. We see the other male teachers walk around the corner and hear them fall. They see Momo on top of the MC and get shocked. Momo sees them and gets confused. The tracksuit asks her if she's at it again, and the rumors were true after all. Momo panics and says no multiple times as she tries to clear the misunderstanding. She tells them that this is not what it looks like, and that the MC tries to harass her. She continues and tells the MC that she thinks that a virgin teacher like him will be better off quitting. As they are looking at each other, the MC calls Momo. She gets off him and screams at him, saying that it is his fault in the first place for standing there, and tells him to get out of her face, as she calls him a stupid four eyes. The MC hands her a fresh set of clothes. He gives her a new pair of indoor shoes, as she said that her old ones were damaged, and when he checked again, her notebooks and stationery were gone, so he prepared new ones for her. He also tells her that if she doesn't use alcohol, she'll never be able to clean her table, and also he doesn't think that she's had her lunch, so he got her some bread. The tracksuit gets surprised seeing the MC bring all these items and asks him if he's Doraemon. Momo holds the items and asks the MC, but why? He tells her that it's because he's a teacher, and as long as she's his student, he'll always be there for her. Seeing the MC's kindness makes Momo cry. In the back, we see Mari looking at Momo and the MC. She has pitch black eyes of the obsessed person. Now we see Tsubaki in the gym talking about the story from the morning and saying that there's actually more to it. She tells them that after he quit being a teacher, he suffered psychological damage and was admitted into a mental hospital. Nozesa gets surprised and says, "Huh? How mentally weak? Would someone normally get admitted to hospital after quitting because they got bullied by Momo?" Oda adds in and says that he's a loser, and it did indeed feel like the previous teacher was in sort of dreamy state as she smiles. While Erika says that everyone has their limits though. Tsubaki replies and says nope. The one who dealt the real damage wasn't the disobedient girl. Now we see splatters on the ground. Momo and the MC turn around as someone calls for the MC. We see that it's Mari telling the MC, "Please don't leave me behind, Jimmy Sensei," as she hurts herself. Chapter 4. The teachers see Mari hurting herself and scream, "What the hell?" The MC has a blank expression while Momo looks shocked. The teachers scream at her as they say, "Bonri-san, what have you done?" The MC calmly walks towards her. Seeing this worries the other teachers. As he approaches her, they scream his name. Now we see Momo carrying Tenjiku while screaming at her, saying, "Why are you the one fainting here?" Tenjiku looks sick as she apologizes. She tells Momo that she cannot stand seeing blood and horror movies are a no-go too. Momo gets annoyed and asks her, how did she make it being a girl until now? As Momo is finding medicine to help Tenjiku, Tenjiku looks at her and tells her that she's so kind. Momo turns around looking confused and asks, what does she mean by that, and if she's being sarcastic? Tenjiku tells her that she really means it. Momo tells her that she's not kind at all. She has boycotted her class before too, and she even threw erasers from behind. She continues and says that Tenjiku stood up for her when they wrote nasty stuff about Momo on the blackboard, and that was really nice of her. Hearing this surprises Tenjiku. Now we see Mari in the hospital bed as Momo says that she just recovered, so she didn't realize at first that everyone has times when they would like to be treated nicely by others. We see Mari thinking about her past. As she sits in the class, her classmates don't even know who she is and make fun of her. When she tells her parents that she can't get along with her class, we see the parents tell her that they are busy and ask her to not bother them with her problems. Now we see her smile for the first time as she talks to the previous teacher. She remembers having fun with him. She puts her hand up in the air as if she's reaching for something and says, "Sensei." Now we see a teacher named Hiragi scream at the MC and say that she heard all about the incident and how he handled the student with the knife. The MC looks at her with a blank expression. She continues to scream and asks, what if things took a wrong turn there? As year head, I too have to take responsibility, you know. She says that thankfully Akashi and Sakid were around too, but they both stop her and tell her that they didn't have a part to play in it. Instead, the MC immediately took away the knife from Mari, which surprised them. She says that she could have lost control and stabbed herself there, and then at worst. And that girl is one real problem child. Sakid tells her that Mari once went all the way to the previous teacher's house and hurt herself in the same way while yelling, "I'll end myself here and now." Hearing this scares Hiragi. Akashi remembers the incident and awkwardly tries to recall the name of the previous teacher. The black-haired teacher replies and says, "If I'm not wrong," that gave him a nervous breakdown. The MC intervenes and says that Mari won't die. Hearing this confuses the teachers. The MC continues and says that it was just a bluff, and the fall down the stairs this morning was most likely all an act. Hearing this angers Akashi. He tells the MC that he's terrible and only the victim herself can prove that and not him. The MC calmly tells him it's pretty obvious once you see it. That's because I'm a teacher after all. The MC takes his bag, and as he walks out, he tells them that it's about time so he'll excuse himself. Hiragi tries to tell him that she's not done yet, but the MC tells her that today's work hours are over and walks away. The other teachers see this and don't know how to react. Suddenly, the black-haired teacher tells them that Mari is one lucky girl because she got put in a hospital as a result. Her guardian told them to do so they have no choice. She won't be there for long anyway, and she'll recover pretty soon. Now we see a nurse getting shocked and run. As the teacher says, as long as no more problems crop up, that'll be great. We see that Mari is not in her bed, and the nurse screaming for the doctor. We see Mari walking in bare feet on the road as she tries to find Sensei. The next day, we see someone running in the school as they panic. We see that it's Tenjiku. She opens the staff room door as she says this is bad, Jimmy-sensei. Akashi tells her that the MC is not here, yet while Sakiri tells her that the MC isn't in charge of any clubs either, so she has to come at precisely the right time to catch him. Hearing this annoys her as she's telling the teachers that this is really bad. We see Momo overhear them. Tenjiku continues and says that it looks like Mari has managed to slip out of the hospital last night. Hearing this shocks Momo. Outside the school, we see the students looking up in the sky in shock. We see that Mari is on the top of the school building as her eyes are pitch black again. The teachers rush outside as they wonder if she's planning to jump off. Akashi says, "Now look what happened. What, she won't die, you greenhorn teacher." We see the black-haired teacher screaming and telling Mari to come down at once. Suddenly, we see Momo and Tenjiku on the rooftop. Seeing them confuses Mari. She stands at the edge, and says why is it not Jimmy Sensei that had to come? With pitch black eyes, she says that he promised her that he won't leave her behind. She's been looking for him all night. If only she had known where he lived. She searched around all night because she didn't know. As she's saying these, Tenjika thinks that he'll be back on time for sure. Momo hears all this and tells Mari that she doesn't know much about her. But Momo is here to listen to her troubles. Momo smiles and says that she's off work now, so she's free. And Momo has a lot of her own going right now, so she kinda gets how Mari is feeling right now. Hearing this angers Mari. She screams and tells her to not bunch them together. Mari calls Momo a spoiled brat. And she lives life however she likes, and tells her to not pretend like she knows everything, just because she's gained a little independence. She continues and says that Momo is the one who made Suzuki-sensei quit. We see Mari bawling her eyes out as she says that all she had was Sensei. Momo feels bad and tells her that she's sorry. Hearing this surprises Mari. Momo walks closer to her and tells her that she has finally realized how many bad things she has done so far. She says that all teachers are annoying and honestly speaking, if she asks her now, she won't remember a teacher named Suzuki anymore. She continues and says, but if you remember that name, he must have been a very important and supportive teacher to you. However, Momo thinks that this way of doing it is annoying too. Hearing this confuses Mari. Momo tells Mari that hurting herself and jumping off buildings is the same standard of harassment that Momo has done. If she wanted to prove her point, there are better ways, and this is why Mari doesn't have any friends. Mari suddenly screams and tells Momo to shut up. She tells her that she's being a nuisance and asks her to not poke her nose in here. Hearing her say this pisses off Momo now. Momo tells her why does she have to do such a thing. Mari tells her that Momo is a big bother for butting in between her and Sensei. Momo replies and says that she's super cutesy, so she's just being super attractive to others, and the jealousy from a gloomy person like Mari is really gross. Mari screams and tells Momo that she's a dummy with a bird brain. Tenjika tries to calm down the situation, but Mari continues to speak, but suddenly her hand slips off the railing. Seeing this shocks Momo. Momo screams Mari's name and tries to reach her, but she can't. Suddenly, we see the MC jump over the railing out of nowhere to grab Mari. He grabs Mari and dives into a tree. Seeing this scares everyone. We see the MC say, that was a close call, as we see him grabbing onto Mari with one hand and a tree branch with the other. We see everyone telling the MC that they thought he died, while the others say that it's a miracle. The black-haired teacher asks him if he's alright, and to not do rash things like this again. He replies to her and says that he'll head to the hospital later. Now he looks at Mari and asks her if she's injured. We see Mari in absolute shock as she can't believe that she almost really died. The MC tells her that he knows that she's not trying to stop existing. Hearing this confuses Mari. He tells her that she's right-handed, and that's why she purposely hurt herself lightly, many times on her left hand. There will be lots of splatter, but it won't be fatal. If she really wanted to not exist, she would have used her strong hand to make deeper wounds. He asks her if she thought that he wasn't watching her. He smiles and tells her that he was watching every move, because he's a teacher after all. He comes closer to her and says that he won't quit just like that, and as long as he's her teacher, he won't leave her behind. And that's why there's no need to do all this, just to gain his favor. Seeing this makes her tear up like a child. She smiles with tears in her eyes and says okay. Suddenly, the MC tells her that it's his private time during after hours and asks her to kindly respect that. He goes a few steps away and turns around and tells her to wear her uniform properly when coming to school. He goes a few steps further and tells her to not be late for class. Seeing the MC being so casual confuses Mari. Tenjika watches the MC go and thinks that he dashed up onto the roof and left to save Mari without thinking twice. It's indeed a miracle that they were safe. One wrong step, and they would have been dead meat. He didn't show the slightest hint of hesitation. She wonders who on earth is he? We see Momo taking a shower. She thinks about how the MC jumped off the building to save Mari, and back then Momo couldn't make a single move. She gets embarrassed and thinks about that virgin putting on airs and shoving it all in their faces, and gets annoyed at the feeling of defeat. She slams her hand and screams, really sucks. The next day we see the MC teaching his class. He says, for this graph let me ask Bonri-san. We see that Mari is finally attending her classes. As the MC calls her name, she gets happy and smiles. We see someone say that Mari actually stopped playing hooky and started coming to class. We see Akashi saying that this happened immediately after that incident occurred, and he thought that she'd be spending more time in the infirmary again. Sakade says that it's not just Mari, but Momo too. She's really taking a beating on news sites and social media. Despite all that, she's still coming to school every day. He continues and says that usually they break down and shut themselves in and end up quitting school. The black-haired teacher agrees with him. We see Momo annoyed as she thinks that Momo was at fault too, but it was originally Mari's fault. Until she quits, Momo will never give up. We see Mari looking at the MC with love as she wonders if the MC will shower her with attention today too. We see Tenjika say that Momo and Mari are really putting in effort, and it's probably thanks to the MC's influence. She suddenly gets concerned and says that there's something about the MC that doesn't feel right. While they are talking about the MC, he walks in and Akashi says, "Oh, speak of the devil." He tells the MC that they were just speaking about him. Sakade says, "About your splendid work in fixing those problem children in 1A. All the teachers smile and say that they thought he was nothing but a liability at first, but they were wrong about him." We see that the MC has already gone, which shocks the teacher. Tenjika tells them that the MC has already left since it's time for his next class. Hearing this leaves each teacher in shock, confusion, and anger. We see the MC walking in the hallway as he suddenly hears someone clapping. He sees that it's the 4 girls as Tsubaki claps and says, "Congratulations, Jimmy-sensei." She tells him that he leapt off the roof in order to save Mari, and what a hero he's become. She continues and says that he's different from all the previous teachers they've had, and it seems like he won't just run away, and he's willing to face them. She never thought that Mari, who had never stepped out of the infirmary, would cause such a big ruckus and asks, "Sensei, you've had it really rough too, right?" As she's saying this, the MC tells her that she really does know the facts well, and says her index number and name. Hearing this wipes the smile off Tsubaki's face. He continues and says that, as she said, Mari didn't want to step out of the infirmary because she didn't want to anger a particular someone. Hearing this makes her say, "What are you talking about?" He tells her that Mari hates Momo for making Suzuki-sensei quit. After learning that the only people the newly independent Momo could rely on were the teachers, Mari thought that she had ended up in the same situation as earlier. By causing an incident and forcing him to quit, Momo would have been forced into a corner like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Suddenly, Erika tells him to wait a moment. She looks worried as she tells him that the way he's saying it, it's like Tsubaki is the one who did it. But before she could finish, he tells her it's not that I'm saying that Tsubaki is in the wrong, and calls her index number and name. Hearing this surprises her. He continues and says, however, if such a person did commit such wrongs, this time's incident of Mari showing affection for me would have been a big misjudgment on my part. She might as well have told herself thoughtless things like, "I'd rather be dead on the roof." As he adjusts his glasses, he says that he hopes that no harm comes to Momo and Mari. But suddenly, Nizasa kicks the MC as she looks angry. Taking the kick sends the MC flying, and as he lands, his glasses fall down. Nizasa looks pissed as she tells him to stop shoving his one-sided thoughts in their faces and calls him a virgin. As he's on the floor, Nizasa tells him to not go around blaming people without any evidence and asks him who the hell does he think he is. He tells her that he's a teacher as he calls her name and index number. She replies and tells him that's exactly what she finds annoying about him as she steps on his head. She looks down on him as she's stepping on him and says that teachers are nobodies to them. She starts rubbing his head with her leg. She tells him that if he wants to put the blame on someone, he should show them some evidence, and the next time he utters nonsense like this. But suddenly we see someone scream, "What do you girls think you're doing?" We see that it's Tenjika running towards the MC as she asks him if he's okay. She looks at Nizasa and tries to say something, but Nizasa looks away and tells her that she doesn't know what happened and the MC just fell down on his own. We see Oda stepping on the MC's glasses as she laughs and says, "Are there men so pathetic that they'd get owned by girls like that?" The MC calls her name and index number as he tells her that she's stepping on his glasses. She sarcastically tells him that she's sorry and that she couldn't help it because he's so annoying. The MC wears his broken glasses as he looks at the girls giggle and go. Erika looks back to see if the MC is okay. Tenjika sees them go and says that those monsters of 1A have done it again. The MC tells Tenjiku that he's alright, but she gets concerned and tells him that he doesn't look alright at all and this cannot continue. But the MC clenches his hand and says that he will not quit no matter what happens. Hearing this confuses Tenjiku. With no emotions in his eyes, he says, "I'm a teacher after all." Seeing this worries her. The MC gets up and goes as he tells her that he'll be going now since the school hours are already over. She tries to stop the MC, but he walks away. She suddenly notices something on the ground. She picks it up and thinks that it belongs to the MC. She looks at it and sees that it has 6-6 written on it. Now we see Tenjiku at her desk as she looks confused and in deep thought. She wonders what could JA and 6-6 possibly mean and wonders if it's an agricultural cooperative. Suddenly, Amari Sensei comes and sees that Tenjiku is still there. Amari sees the key holder in Tenjiku's hand and asks her what that key holder she has there. Tenjiku awkwardly tells her that she found this on the ground. Amari looks at it, and as she's giving it back, she tells Tenjiku that she can check online to see who it belongs to. Hearing this surprises her. Tenjiku asks Amari, how does she know about this? Amari replies and asks Tenjiku if she's not taken a graduation class before. Amari tells her that the key holder is probably a graduation gift. Tenjiku looks at it and says, "What could this mean? A school name? I don't get it." Amari tells her that it's a commonly used abbreviation. For example, their school is called Swizono, so it becomes SZN, and 66 probably means 66 graduating class. She continues and says that there may be many schools that use JA nationwide, so she's not sure how long it might take her to find it. She tells her that if she can find out the school name, she might be able to find the owner. Now we see Tenjiku on the internet trying to find high schools which start with JA. As she's doing this, she asks herself, what is she doing by poking her nose into people's private matters like this? She thinks that the MC is no ordinary person, and honestly, she'd like to get just a glimpse of what he's really like. She finally finds something and reads an article about Juon Private School. She says that she's heard of this Juon place somewhere before. As she reads the article, she sees that there was an incident 10 years ago, and a homeroom teacher did some unbelievable actions, and that teacher's initial is J. As she looks surprised by this, she says no, it can't possibly be. It can't be, right? She gets suspicious of the MC. She gets curious and wonders what kind of incident could have happened. She clicks on the article and gets shocked. She thinks that people said 1A is hell, and that class is filled with monsters. If only there had been an abnormal teacher who would not quit no matter what. She reads the article which says that the teacher's initial is J, and neither blood nor tears flow within this teacher's body. That teacher is a cold-blooded murderer. Currently, he isn't serving a sentence and has only been slapped with a light charge. The notion that he will someday revert to his old ways has caused an uproar, demanding justice. Tenjiku looks at the article calling the teacher a murderer and monster and gets shocked. She starts to wonder if the MC2 is a true monster of 1A. Chapter 6. We see Tenjiku looking at the articles about the MC. As she gets shocked and says that he's a murderer, we see him standing right behind her and listening to her. Suddenly, he calls her name. Hearing this surprises her, and she turns around to see who it is. As she sees that it's the MC, she screams in horror. The MC calmly asks her if she can return his key holder. He tells her that he noticed that he dropped it while going home, and it's something important to him. She awkwardly agrees to him and hands him the key holder. The second he receives it, he starts going back. Tenjiku suddenly asks him if he's not angry at her, angry for digging into his private life. The MC looks at her and tells her that he's not really angry, and he's not bothered at all if people find things about him. He says this and proceeds to walk out the door. Hearing this baffles her. She tries to stop him, as she questions about how he's not troubled if people find out about him. She looks at the article and thinks that maybe she jumped to the wrong conclusion, and the J might not have referred to the MC's name. She believes that has to be the case, and thinks that it was beyond rude of her to accuse him of being a murderer. She thinks that she should stop snooping around. Now we see the MC walking in the hallway. He takes a handkerchief out of his pocket, which is soaked in blood and dried out. He puts the key holder in the handkerchief and wraps it up and keeps it. The next day, we see the classes having a cooking class, and everyone will be making cupcakes. We see a bunch of beautifully decorated cupcakes. We see that it's made by Oda. The other girls gasp and say that they look so great, and the cupcakes she makes are so cute. They continue and say that they look like something they'd find on sale, and that Oda has good sense of food, completely different from those online foodies. Oda smugly replies and tells them that this is nothing. She tells them that she's not trying to brag or anything, but recently she helped design a fashion magazine. Hearing this surprises the other girls as they tell her that she's already a real pro out there. As she continues and says that she knows some editors, we see Momo getting frustrated. We see that she's frustrated at the fact that her cupcakes turned out terrible. Suddenly Mari comes behind and looks at the cupcakes and says that it's amazing, and with a cheerful tone she tells her that her cupcakes are awful. She tells her that's the skill of someone who got booted from a fashion magazine all right, and that she's mediocre. Momo gets embarrassed and tells Mari to shut up. Momo tells Mari that her cupcakes hardly look better. Mari replies and says that it's completely fine because she put her heart and soul into them anyway. She gets all romantic and says that she hopes the MC enjoys them. Hearing this, Mari weirds out Momo and asks her if she's being real right now. As they are talking, we see someone put some trays and pots on their cupcakes. We see that it's Oda. As she smiles, she calls them creeps and thanks them for volunteering to do her cleanup. Seeing their cupcakes get ruined shocks them. Mari visibly looks upset as Momo calls Maki and asks what the hell does she think she's doing? Oda tries to act all cutesy and oblivious as she says that she has no idea. She smiles and tells Momo to not call her Maki anymore, as it kind of bothers her how close it makes them look. Hearing this confuses Momo. Suddenly Oda looks at her meanly and tells her that they are not friends anymore and calls her an ugly bitch and tells her to take a hint. Momo tells her that Momo is super duper cute. But suddenly we see Mari throw all of Oda's cupcakes into the air. Seeing this shocks Oda and the teacher. Momo also looks surprised as she asks Mari from when did she start standing up for Momo? Mari sounds pissed as she says that she didn't do it for Momo. She did it cause her cupcakes were ruined and tells Momo that nobody cares about her face. Oda gets angry and screams at them. She tells them to not get in over their heads. Suddenly someone calls Oda before she could finish. We see that it's Tsubaki as the other girls are also looking at her. Tsubaki tells Oda if she could stop picking fights with lower class, referring to Momo and Mari. She continues and says that it's getting pretty hard to watch. Oda immediately apologizes to Tsubaki. But Tsubaki gets up and says that this is all getting pretty bothersome and tells Oda to finish up her cupcakes too. Nizasa smiles and tells Oda that this is perfect for her and it's right up her alley. She taps Oda's head. She tells her that she'll also leave her cupcakes to her, and they both walk away. Erika looks at Oda and looks concerned and goes away too. We see Oda standing there all alone. Momo looks at Oda's condition and asks her if she feels good being around those fakers, even when they treat her like this. Momo continues and says that when she was around she was getting all the attention, and Momo didn't really mind it much while she was busy flaunting her talents. Momo asks Oda if she felt like she lost her balance by the tiniest bit after Momo left the spotlight. She continues and says that it feels almost like Oda's gone straight down to rock bottom. Hearing this angers Oda. Momo keeps talking as she asks Oda, wasn't she rather popular online at first, and that she was boasting all about professional job now too? Her life was going alright without having to stick with those girls. Suddenly Oda speaks and tells her that she's having the time of her life. She screams and says that she doesn't need someone like Momo to worry about her, and if she wasn't around it would have been even more fun. Oda slams the door open and storms off as she tells Momo to never talk to her, as if she knew her. Suddenly the girls turn around and see that it's the MC, the home economics teacher, is hiding behind him as she's scared of the students of class 1A. Now we see Momo angry and screaming why does she have to stay behind and clean up as punishment? She tells the MC that Oda is the one who started it. The MC replies and tells her that according to the home economics teacher, Momo and Mari were the ones to start it. Suddenly Mari replies and tells the MC that she was so scared cause Momo suddenly started slipping the cupcakes around. Hearing Mari lie shocks Momo. Mari gets close to the MC's face. She blushes and tells him that the cupcakes were originally made for him. With no expression, he tells her to get back to cleaning. We see that Momo is still annoyed as she asks the MC if he's really fine with this cause it's already past the time for him to head home, and wouldn't he have already left by now normally? The MC agrees and tells her that it indeed is time to go home, but in this case as the homeroom teacher of 1A he has to deal with this personally, and tells them that he's teacher after all. Hearing this makes the girls admire him for a second, but immediately he continues and says that similar to other days with special agenda, as long as he submits a notice for overtime hours, he will still do his job, and as long as he's paid his due salary, it's still his job. Hearing him say this makes the girls completely silent. Momo sighs and asks why is Oda so keen on staying with Tsubaki and others despite being treated so badly. She'd do just fine on her own if she broke free. Suddenly Mari speaks and says girls being girls for them to pick up their courage and say it's over is easier said than done. She asks Momo hasn't she been alone from the start? Being called a loner indirectly makes Momo angry as the girls are fighting. We see the MC looking at something on his laptop. We see that he's looking at the post about Momo with the blackboard picture. As he wonders what should he do now. Now we see Oda in her room as she types on her laptop. She says just because I got stuck with those low-class creep today, and right now she's nothing, and she has no right to order her around. Now we see that it's Oda who's posted the picture of the board and accusing Momo. She looks at it and says that Momo is a stubborn bitch and that she's getting on her nerves. We see all the comments made by Oda about Momo using fake accounts. She gets frustrated and says that she doesn't care if Momo is a model or what, and asks who the hell does she think she is. She tells herself that she's the one with the better sense here. Now she smiles and says that Momo's super cutesy face is probably the result of plastic surgery, and everyone online thinks so too. Just because she thinks that she's on a roll, she thinks that she can get carried away. Oda continues and says that this is her punishment and Momo's presence alone is already annoying as hell. Oda starts to think as she says that in order to put Momo down for good, she needs a little bit more. Suddenly she gets a cunning smile and says that she just thought of something splendid. This time the MC can't come to her rescue and she'll end Momo once and for all and make sure that she will never recover. Oda giggles and says that she'll take control of Momo's life from here on out. Chapter 7 we see Oda explain that hierarchies exist among friends while we see her thinking about her past, where some girls are praising her little charms and saying that they look really cute on her. As they are praising and inquiring her about where she acquired the charms, they also tell her that she's the cutest and that she has great taste in fashion and anyone would look up to her. Hearing all this makes Oda happy. As they try talking about something they saw online yesterday, suddenly someone notices something and tells everyone to look there. We see that it's Momo. The girls are surprised and say that it's the real Hananaka Momo right in front of them. They can't believe that she's in the same school as them. They look at the charm on her bag and say that it's the same exact one as Oda's. One of the girls realizes that it is indeed the same one as Momo's and says that she didn't notice it at first glance because it looks so different on Momo because she's an actual model. While the girls are talking about this, we see that Oda is visibly jealous of Momo as she thinks that she sure hopes that this doesn't end up causing her problems now in the present. We see the MC calling Momo. We see Momo sitting face to face with the MC as he asks her if she knows why she's been called to the counseling room. She giggles smugly as she acts like she knows the reason. She suddenly tells him that they both should start fresh since he's already taken a peek at her bikini figure as she recalls the past incident and smiles. With a blank face, the MC asks her what does she mean by start fresh. She goes closer to him and teases him as she tells him to not be shy about him finally being charmed by her overpowering cuteness. The MC looks straight at her and tells her that she's ranked last on the recent test, which is the 238th position. Suddenly we hear screams coming from the room. Tenjiku enters the room as she is surprised by the screams and asks what's all the ruckus about. Now we see all of Momo's tests. We see that she scored a remarkable score of 0, 0, 2, and 4. We see Tenjiku also sitting along with the MC. She seems worried as she tells Momo that she understands that Momo is having a hard time continuing coming to school without fail during these tough times, but scoring such marks is clearly unacceptable. Momo pouts and tells her that she hates studying and she almost didn't make it in here anyway, and she only chose this school because of the cute uniform. Tenjiku replies and tells her that this will have an adverse effect on her extracurricular activities. Hearing this confuses and worries her. Tenjiku continues and tells her that her modeling career could be in danger because of this. Hearing this makes Momo sad. Seeing her sad worries Tenjiku. She tries asking her what happened. Momo looks dejected as she says that she's already at rock bottom and asks them are they still expecting Momo to bite the bullet even harder? As Tenjiku looks worried, the MC suddenly tells her to please try her best. Hearing this confuses Momo, but also makes her happy. He continues and tells her that he doesn't know much about the entertainment world, but at this rate, she'll have to repeat the grade. Seeing how the MC doesn't really care about her entertainment career shocks Momo as she asks him if he's being for real right now. Later in the staff room, we see the MC and Tenjiku sitting and working. Tenjiku looks concerned about Momo as she tells the MC that she feels bad for her. She continues and says that he might not understand how big this whole entertainment business is to Momo. She was actually pretty high in her career. Before this, she was very popular and almost had the big break she needed. She emphasizes on the almost part. She continues and says that she can't even imagine how devastated Momo must be after her entire career went down the drain just like that. Tenjika looks sad as she says that if only there was something they could do to help her. The MC replies and tells her that they are teachers and their job is to guide Momo such that she doesn't end up repeating a grade. Tenjika screams and tells him that she already knows this very well. She sighs, and as she looks at him, she thinks that it's like he doesn't even have a soul and blurts out that the rumors were true. After all, she suddenly realizes that she said this out loud. She panics and thinks that she shouldn't have said that and apologizes to him as she tells him that she was really rude. Right now she tries to save it by saying that someone who just leapt off a roof to save his student could never be so heartless. She tries more and tells him that he's all smiles in front of students and he should smile like that more often. The MC does not look impressed by her and just stares at her. She pleads with him to smile a little as he's making her feel uneasy. He replies and asks her if smiling is a teacher's job. Hearing this leaves her completely speechless. Now in the library, we see Momo trying to study. Around the corner, we hear a bunch of girls yapping. One says that she loves the color of the lipstick. The girl replies and says that the lipstick was recommended by Oda from class 1A online. Another girl replies and says that she saw that too and that Oda really has a great sense for fashion. One of the girls asks her, wasn't she a fan of Momo before? She replies and says that Momo is a product past its prime and she no longer posts online either. Momo hears this and it hits a nerve. She suddenly gets up and shouts at the girls and tells them to shut up as she's trying to study. Here, seeing Momo, there scares the girls and they scream. After the girls are gone, we see Momo looking at Oda's social account and sees that she has over 12,000 followers. Momo looks at it and thinks that what the girls said is true and that Oda is really popular for a commoner. She looks at her posts and thinks that all her pictures are littered with stickers, but she does have a good sense though. She thinks that Oda is good at make-believe, and this is practically fraud. She sees Oda's post with the Tsubaki and others and thinks that she's pretending to be friends with them like always, and she hasn't learned her lesson yet. As Momo looks at the picture, she imagines herself in it. She gets sad as she thinks that in the end, not a single one of those girls turned out to be Momo's true friend. Suddenly we see Mari scream at Momo and ask her, didn't she say that she was going to study, and tells her to go somewhere else if she's not studying. Hearing Mari reminds Momo of her horrible grades. She says that she doesn't want to repeat a grade either, and the modeling world is waiting for Momo's grand comeback, so she has to work hard. Suddenly, Momo sees a comment under Oda's post, saying that Oda is cuter than Momo. Seeing this makes Momo cry. She takes her phone and shows it to Mari as she cries and asks her, who does she think is cuter, and persuades Mari to say that it has to be Momo. Mari gets annoyed at this and tells Momo that neither of them are cute. Mari looks at Momo's phone and questions about Oda being a high school fashion queen, and says that she has no idea what she's up to, but regardless of how popular she is online, she's only at the tip of the iceberg. She tells Momo that Momo has 10 times as many followers as her, and she doesn't need to worry. Hearing this makes Momo happy, and she thanks Mari. Mari smiles and tells her that it's nothing. As she focuses on her studies, she tells Momo, but I still agree that your ship has already sailed. Hearing this makes Momo angry. She starts screaming at Mari that she's the ugliest, and she's a loner. Mari replies back and tells her that she was just stating the facts and calls Momo annoying. We see Oda notice Momo and Mari arguing. She greets them with a smile and asks them how are the unpopular freaks doing today. Momo looks at Oda and asks her what does she want. Oda replies and tells her that she didn't really want to talk about this and asks Momo if she remembers when Oda said that she was a pro at what she did. Mari replies and says, is she talking about the time when Oda talked about helping a fashion magazine or something? Momo also recalls this and asks Oda what magazine was it again and flames the magazine editors by calling them useless as they brought on some intern who doesn't know shit. Oda smiles and tells her that's not what she wanted to talk about. She tells Momo that it's basic manners in this industry to at least greet their seniors. Hearing the word seniors confuses Momo. She continues and says that it's not like she wanted to or anything, but it's just that the editors were revamping some stuff, and she happened to get their thumbs up. Oda gets all cheered up and tells Momo that she's becoming a model. She says that they both are in the same business now, and tells her that she hopes that they both can work well together. Momo is shocked at hearing this and asks if what she's saying is real. Chapter 8. We see Momo looking at her text to her manager. We see that she's trying to reach her manager and talk about her future as a model. The manager ghosts Momo. Seeing that he's ghosting her makes Momo sad. As she sits on a staircase alone, she says that working hard at school actually cost Momo her job, and Momo is a complete failure. Now we see Tenjika getting shocked as she receives the news that Momo gave up on studying. The MC is standing next to Tenjiku as she asks Mari, why is Momo giving up at this time? And the makeup tests are next week. Mari remembers Oda telling Momo that she's in the same business as her and replies to Tenjiku that she has no idea, and Momo just became very demoralized. All of a sudden Tenjika looks concerned. She asks the MC, what is he going to do now? She continues and says that Momo missed a lot of classes due to her job, and at this rate, if she gives up her studies also, she'll have to repeat a grade without a doubt. Tenjika panics more and tells him that at this rate, Momo won't stand a chance in advancing her model career. The MC adjusts his glasses as he calls Mari. He tells her that her chemistry homework is supposed to be due today and tells her to please submit it. Mari tells him that she already has it prepared. He puts out his attendance register, and she puts her chemistry assignment on it. He takes the assignment and tells them that he'll be going now. Seeing this nonchalant response leaves Mari and Tenjika shocked. Tenjika screams at him and asks him, is that all he has to say about the situation? And asks, what will he do about Momo? The MC ignores Tenjiku and keeps walking. She chases him while screaming his name. Mari sees him go and worries. Now we see that Momo is still at the staircase looking at her phone. She's checking Oda's social account and reading her posts. We see Oda post that she has a secret, and in another post saying that maybe something good is about to happen to her. Seeing these posts pisses off Momo. She says that Oda must be eager to announce to everyone that she's going to become a model. Suddenly, Momo goes silent and thinks why. She suddenly loses her shit and grabs the phone with such force that her phone case breaks. She screams, why does it have to be Oda? Momo goes on a rant that Oda is shorter. She photoshops all her photos and she is flat-chested. She wonders what kind of strings did Oda pull to get into modeling. Momo continues and says that her feet are much cuter than Oda's too. But suddenly she hears someone asking Oda if she's really becoming a model. Momo instinctively hides and sees that it's Tsubaki and the others. She hears them telling Oda that it's awesome that she's going to be a model and asks Oda if they can tell their club members. Oda gets happy from all this praise. She tells them to stop it and that it isn't confirmed that she's going to be a model anyway. Momo sits there as she controls her anger and annoyance. Oda continues talking to the girls and says that if they want to tell others, they should make sure to spread the rumors far and wide. The girls say, how modest, unlike that Momo. Erika looks concerned as she talks about how Momo has toned down a lot recently. Tsubaki agrees and says that Momo isn't stupid enough to keep kicking up a fuss even after her status has been taken away from her. Oda laughs and tells them that it seems like Momo is actually quite stupid because she's at risk of repeating the grade after all. Nozesa gets surprised and says that Momo is worse at her studies than someone like herself. Someone who's in a sports club and says that Momo seems to be a lost cause and she's done for. Hearing all this scares Momo. Oda smugly tells everyone that Momo is a goner in her studies. She's a loner at school, and on top of that her almighty model career was easily overtaken by someone like herself. Oda continues and says that Momo wasn't a big deal at all. Hearing this worries Momo even more. Oda is still yapping as she says that she's still a beginner in the industry, and all she had to do was put in a little effort, and she's already on par with Momo. Nozesa smiles and tells Oda that she shouldn't be too complacent when things get hectic. She too came close to repeating a grade just like Momo. Oda takes offense to this and tells Nozesa that she's not as stupid as they think she is. She continues and says that Tsubaki and the rest aren't that bright either, and at least she's above average in terms of test results. Momo hears all this, and her spirit gets broken. She thinks that she's really done for this time. Later we see Momo thinking that it sucks to not be able to defend herself as she looks at a magazine. She takes a closer look at it and gets shocked. She sees that it's Oda on the cover page and thinks that Oda is already on the cover page. She thinks about the past and wonders how she was the one on the cover page a while ago. She starts telling herself that she's super cute. She keeps repeating it more and more, and every time she thinks that she gets sadder and sadder. Now we see Momo barge into the chemistry room where the MC is as she looks annoyed and pissed. The MC tells her that she's the person he wanted to talk to and tells her that she hasn't handed in her chemistry homework yet. But before he could finish speaking, she grabs his shirt and asks him if he thinks that she's a bad person. She pushes him into the cabinet and screams at him to say that Momo is cute. The MC gives no reaction. Seeing this makes her more desperate and sad as she's mounted on top of him. She pleads him to please call her cute, but the MC doesn't say anything. He asks her if that's supposed to be a teacher's job. Suddenly, out of nowhere, she starts removing her shirt. The MC remains calm and tries to tell her that she still hasn't learnt her lesson yet. But once again, she doesn't let him speak. She screams at him and tells him that if he doesn't say that she's cute, she'll make him lose his job. For sure this time, she tells him that it's for real this time. With desperation and tears in her eyes, she tells him that she'll make sure that he will say that she's cute till he runs out of breath and tries to tempt him with her virginity in exchange for him saying that she's cute. She suddenly removes her bra. She pushes herself more onto him. She starts removing everything as she tells him that even someone like him shouldn't be able to resist what's right in front of him. She loses her mind as she goes full commando and tells him that she might as well lose it all anyway and might as well take him down with her. The MC has a face of despair as he looks at her commando. We see Momo still on top of the MC as she's full commando now and waiting for his response. He apologizes to her and tells her that he's unable to reciprocate her feelings and that this isn't working out. She asks him if he feels nothing even if she went commando and risked her life for this. He replies and says, unfortunately, no. She gets sad and sits in a corner while still being commando. He walks away as he tells her to please put some clothes on and tells her to know her limits, even if she's running out of her tricks. He continues and tells her that no matter how great her body looks, it won't translate into good grades and asks her if he can have her chemistry homework now. She once again doesn't listen to him and screams at him, telling him that he doesn't understand anything at all. Now, we see Momo thinking about her past, where she couldn't get through the auditions, and worrying if she's not cut out for the entertainment world. She doesn't give up as she thinks that it's her job. She thinks about the time when she was away from school for so long that she couldn't catch up in her studies, and wonders if her future will be alright. She gets angry and tries to tell him that even at school, everything is horrible, and remembers her past self where she kept telling herself to not worry as she's super cute and that it's going to be alright at the verge of breaking down. She screams at the MC and tells him that being cute is more important than anything else in the world to her. And without that, Momo is done for. The MC asks her, what does she want? He tells her that he doesn't get what she's trying to say, cause he's not her after all. He reaches his hand out and tells her that he knows one thing for sure and tells her to hand over her chemistry homework with a straight face, and tells her that if she doesn't, her efforts will really be all for nothing. Now we see Tenjiku worried as she asks the MC if Momo handed her chemistry homework in the end. He replies and tells her that she didn't give it as he keeps working. He says that he can afford to let this go today, but if Momo doesn't submit it by tomorrow, she'll lose her marks for that. Hearing this worries Tenjiku. She screams at him and asks him if this really is the right way to go, and asks what if Momo repeats the grade and decides to quit school. He replies and asks her what's wrong if she quits. Hearing this confuses Tenjiku. He continues and tells her that attending high school isn't mandatory. He keeps working on his computer as he tells her that as long as Momo is willing to work hard as his student, he will do his best to support her. But if she decides to not do anything, there's nothing he can do about it. If she decides to quit school, he's no longer her teacher, and he's just any other stranger to her. Hearing him say this shocks Tenjiku. As we see Momo depressed and sitting at the stairs, the MC keeps talking to Tenjiku and tells her that he has other students as well, and wasting time on personal matters that have no line to school life isn't part of a teacher's job. He continues and tells Tenjiku that she has her own students to handle, and he has things he needs to do too. What he can do is simply do his job. Hearing all this shocks her even more. Suddenly the staff room door opens, and we see that Oda is there as the MC is telling Tenjiku that he's a teacher after all. Chapter 9. We see Oda standing there and looking at the MC. Tenjiku gets cautious and asks Oda what's wrong and why did she come to the staff room. Oda looks visibly angry as she replies that the MC called her here and asks him what does he want from her and calls him a filthy glasses jerk. The MC replies and asks her why does she think that he called her here. Tenjiku tells the MC to not ask Oda why does she think she's been called here, like as if this is some quiz. Oda gets annoyed and angry and screams at the MC while agreeing with Tenjiku. She tells him that she's not here because she wanted to be here. Hearing this makes the MC say, "So you don't want to be here?" He tells them that's mystifying. Hearing this confuses Oda. He continues and tells Oda that she's a student who has always been very rebellious against him, and despite how much she didn't want to come here, she obediently came here without any intention of making fun of him, which surprised him. He mentions the making fun of him part because Momo comes to him and makes fun of him always. He once again asks Oda if she can give him a good reason why he bothered to call her here. This time, he calls her with her index number and name. Hearing this worries her. Now she acts a bit docile and slowly tells them that he maybe called her because she's working as a model now. Hearing this surprises Tenjiku. Oda, now awkwardly, tells him that she hasn't really told everyone else about it. He stops her and tells her that from the bottom of his heart, he doesn't care about what she does outside in her private life. Hearing this shocks her. He slides a form and tells her that she must request permission to participate in showbiz activities while schooling, and asks her to please fill out the form carefully. After this, he tells her that now, on to the main point. As she looks more worried now, he asks her, "Are you with me?" He tells her that she still hasn't handed her chemistry homework yet. Now we see Momo walking near the staff room. She suddenly hears a loud bang and gets taken by surprise. She sees that it's Oda looking annoyed at the MC and saying that he's a jerk and annoying as heck. She is annoyed at the MC for telling her that if she fails to hand her homework tomorrow, he can't guarantee her passing marks. She looks angry as she says that the way he said it really grinded her gears. As she's thinking about the MC, she runs into Momo. Momo heard her talking and asks Oda if she also didn't hand her chemistry homework as well. Momo is relieved a little, as she's not the only one. Oda doesn't reply and just stands there for a minute. Suddenly she pushes Momo. As Momo falls on the ground, she asks her what's wrong with her. Oda replies and says sorry like a little baby. She looks at Momo in a hateful way and tells her that she didn't see her there and people of lower level than her are invisible to her. Hearing this shocks Momo. Oda walks away as Momo is still on the floor. Suddenly Momo screams in anger and tells Oda to cut the crap already and mocks Oda for not handing in her chemistry homework too. We see that Mari is standing behind Momo as she hears Momo scream. Mari slowly calls out to Momo to see if she's okay. Momo turns around. We see that Momo is crying as she tells Mari that she definitely won't give up. She grabs Mari aggressively and tells her that she may not be as successful in her modeling career, but she'll definitely be able to hand in her chemistry home. She continues and tells Mari to show her homework so she can copy it. Mari replies and tells her that it's not possible and she already handed her homework in. Hearing this makes Momo annoyed. She tells Mari that she's super selfish. Hearing this irritates Mari. She replies and tells her that she's not selfish. While Mari and Momo are arguing, we see someone swiping on their phone. We see that this person has captured everything that Oda did. How she pushed Mari down and how she humiliated her. This person takes all these photos and tweets them. The next morning we see the students checking their phones. They ask each other if they saw the post from this morning. They wonder if what the post mentioned really happened. They say that real or not, what they saw was pretty messed up. Now we see Oda looking at her laptop while she's still at home. She gets shocked and drops her milk. We see that it's the pictures of her bullying Momo. The pictures are posted with the captions like, "Behold, the countenance of the one who leaked the model Hananaka Momo's rape incident online." Oda wonders how this all got leaked. Cause this incident happened yesterday. She sees people commenting and saying that she looks very different from her selfies as they laugh at her. She sees one last comment saying that Oda is a D1 hater of Momo and she's just jealous of her. This comment completely breaks Oda. Now we see Momo back to her modeling career. She smiles and looks all cute while getting her photos taken. After the shoot, we see someone congratulating Momo for getting to be a model again. Momo thanks her and tells her that she'll give it her all this time with a cheerful voice. The woman continues and asks Momo if the rumors online are true, that bullying was the reason behind all of this. She asks if her attacking the teacher was just a misunderstanding. Momo replies and tells her that it wasn't a misunderstanding. We see that the person asking the questions is recording Momo, as this is an interview. Momo continues and tells her that Momo herself got herself into all these misunderstandings, and it is true that she got into trouble with the teacher, and Momo even dragged people who were uninvolved into this mess. Hearing this surprises the woman. She asks Momo, what does she mean by that she herself got into the misunderstanding? Momo replies to her while checking her phone. She tells her that she accidentally let the teacher see a bit of her underwear, maybe. Hearing this confuses the woman even more. She asks Momo if she actually likes the teacher. Hearing this creeps out Momo. She replies and tells her that she will never like him in a million years for sure, and that the teacher is a terrible person to begin with. In the school, we see someone looking at the magazine cover, which has Momo's face on it. Suddenly, they crumble the cover. We see that this person is Oda. Momo looks at Oda and tells her that she'll probably never have a chance to get featured on this magazine, and tells her to look at what has happened to her so-called modeling career. Momo continues and asks her, "It's all over, isn't it?" Oda looks scared as she asks Momo if she's the one who did it. Oda screams at Momo and tells her that she used Mari to get the better of her. Momo looks at Oda like she's some lame person and asks her why would she do such a thing, and that she has no idea how Momo felt. Momo tells her that she definitely thought that it was Tsubaki and the girls who pulled off that blackboard gimmick, but she didn't think that they would go as far as shaming her online, and honestly, that was the last straw. Hearing this makes Oda start stuttering as she tries to find words to say. Momo tells her that nobody cares about it now anyway because she admitted that she did something bad, and makes it clear to Oda that she wasn't the one to get dumped by the MC. Momo looks serious as she tells Oda that since she's trying so hard to pick a fight with her, she needs to find the guts to do it in herself, and tells Oda to stop cowering behind Tsubaki and the others and face her head on. Suddenly, Momo smiles with a book in her hand and tells Oda that she already handed in her chemistry homework and got her results back. She tells Oda that she really doesn't stand any chance of beating her. She cheerfully goes away as she tells Oda good luck with whatever she's up to now. Oda looks at Momo, go to Mari cheerfully and being happy. Seeing Momo happy makes Oda annoyed. Oda sits there while looking at her phone and repeatedly saying that Momo is annoying. Oda looks at her social account and sees that everyone is supporting Momo and shit-talking about her. Seeing this makes Oda worry and think that this is no good. Nobody is supporting her, even if she uses her fake accounts to defend herself. She thinks that if it wasn't Mari who leaked the images, it has to be the MC. She continues to think that she has no idea what methods the MC used to get all the information about her, but he seems to be hard-pressed and a virgin. She wonders if he likes Momo. She thinks that it makes sense now as she thinks that he did this for Momo because he likes her. She gets angry thinking that he's supposed to be a teacher and he gave in just because Momo cheekily sucked up to him. Suddenly, Oda notices something. She looks at Momo's account, in which Momo posted that she's sorry for the misunderstanding. She says that she's back and fully recharged and will give her everything. Oda looks at all the positive replies to Momo's post and all the support she's getting and gets more jealous. She wonders why is Momo getting all the good attention. She thinks of Momo and says that she's no big deal and she's not cute at all. Oda thinks that she's way cuter than Momo, but suddenly someone calls her name. We see that it's Tsubaki and the other girls. Tsubaki asks Oda if she's okay as she smiles. Seeing them worries Oda. She tries to apologize, but Tsubaki tells her that they were worried about her cause, they are her friends after all. Tsubaki sympathizes with Oda and tells her that all those nasty things which were written about her online must have affected her modeling career, which was going so well, and asks her if she's feeling better now. Oda looks horrified as she says that it really sucks, and it's not even her fault either. Tsubaki replies and tells her that she gets her and asks her if she's going to let this be as it is. We see someone reaching for a bottle of acid as Tsubaki tells Oda that she has a suggestion for her. Now we see the MC checking the chemicals kept in the chemistry lab. He gets worried as he sees that there's one bottle missing. He tells himself that it looks like he'll be working overtime again tonight.